2017, time for a special meeting of the Wenatchee City Council. First item would be pledge to our flag. Councilmember Bailey, would you lead us?
I will.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the record, we have all 7 council members with us this evening. And just for the members of the audience, we have an abbreviated schedule today because we're all headed out to the dedication of the Saddle Rock Trailhead at 6:30. So first item on this evening's agenda is the consent items, which includes this evening's agenda, vouchers, and the minutes from the previous meetings.
All right, make a motion to approve the agenda, vouchers, and minutes from previous meetings.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Huffaker, second by Councilmember Markart to approve this evening's agenda, the vouchers, and the minutes from our last meetings. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First action item this evening is regarding the cemetery niche wall. Matt?
No citizen comment tonight?
No citizen comment tonight because we're going to be out cranking her out, so.
Matt Leonard, Public Works Director. So what we have today is we finished the niche walls. We had 2 new 80-unit niche walls that went in at the cemetery. That's just accepting the work. Wilbert Precast did the work. We had budgeted $80,000 for this project using the one-time general funds. We ended up coming in at $58,000. Some change, I think. And that was exactly what we had awarded the contract at. And we're selling those currently for $1,047 a piece, plus $314 for the endowment fund, which goes to maintain it forever. So
And remind me how many niches are in there?
we got 160 of them.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll make some money, but as you guys know, we don't make money on the cemetery.
I think
So,
it's,
so it's good to have some inventory. We've already sold 5, I believe, to date. So Anna's working on a campaign to get the word out that we have these available. And the project turned out really good. They matched the other niches that we had really well, and we're really happy.
great. It's one of those businesses we're in, you better have a little inventory, huh? All right, then I'd entertain a motion to approve the contract or the acceptance of the contract.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion that the City Council accept the work performed by Wilbert Precast Inc. to further authorize the mayor to sign the final contract voucher certification on behalf of the City of Wenatchee.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Bailey, second by Councilmember Harold to authorize the mayor's signature and accept the work completed by Wilbur Precast on the niche wall at the cemetery. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Matt. Diversity Council. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay. Good evening, Council, Mayor. I have before you Allison Williams, Executive Services Director, first of all. Resolution 2017-38. We had an opening on the Diversity Council. Gabby has been really busy and not able to attend, and so she has the remainder of her term. And Scott Sherwood submitted an application. You had that in your packet. And he was recommended, he's been attending the Diversity Council meetings. He's been also on the subcommittee that's working on the civility project. And so they happily recommended him for appointment. And I should note, in your application, you said you may not necessarily increase the diversity of the council, but it's almost all female.
Okay.
So
that would be
So
increasing
actually really
diversity.
happy to have
Yes.
his application, so we would recommend it for approval.
All right.
Your Honor, I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2017-38, appointing a member to the Diversity Advisory Committee to fill an open 2-year term, and that person would be Scott Sherwood.
And I should note for the record, they're actually 3-year terms, so that was a typo in the resolution, which we will correct.
With the correction that it's a 3-year term.
Yes.
We had a second by Ruth, right? All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Huffaker, second by Councilmember Esparza to adopt Resolution 2017-38, appointing Scott Sherwood to the Diversity Council. Any discussion? Should we discuss Scott's character or anything in particular?
Hopefully he is a character.
All right. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Scott, for agreeing to
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
support in our city.
Thank you.
Public hearings. So we have a public hearing regarding the CDBG Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, or CAPER. So for a public hearing, we'll hear from staff. When staff is done, we'll turn it over to the public for any comment, and then back to the council for any action. So Brooklyn and Glenn, we'll turn it over to you guys.
Brooklyn Holton Housing Community Planner for the City of Wenatchee.
Glenn DeVries, Community Development Director. Brooklyn's going to do the presentation this evening.
So the Community Development Block Grant, every year we bring to you guys the annual action plan, which is the beginning of the program year, and then the CAPER at the end to kind of review what we did throughout the year on that. And so our program year is April 1st through March 31st, which is why it comes to you guys in the middle of the year. And June 22nd is no longer accurate. I should say the 29th. So we've been an entitlement community since 2004. The funding has been variable since we began that entitlement. It's progressively been decreasing all the way to 2014, and then has actually started to increase. So between the 2014 year and now this year, our 2017 allocation has steadily increased by 14,000. So it's still a little bit different than the 187,000, but increasing is a good trend, hopefully, that we can follow. Our CAPER and the work that we do is aligned with the 2013-2017 consolidated plan. And as a requirement of our citizen participation plan that we have within the consolidated plan, we utilize the annual action plan and the CAPER to hold 2 required public hearings for our CDBG program each year. Our goals in 2016 were overarching: preserve and improve neighborhoods, support public services, and reduce homelessness. The improving neighborhoods, we have mainly been doing sidewalk projects. As you guys know, the Chelan Avenue project. We support a part of the code enforcement salary, and the majority of his work is done within the CDBG target area. And then we also work with the Neighborhood Improvement Grant to work with local community members that want to do small projects. And the public services is with the Literacy Council, ran by the Community Action Council, to help provide literacy and English as a second language training to mainly Wenatchee residents, but they've also been able to go out into the migrant camps and help them as well. And then related to our code enforcement officer, if there is a home that is against our code violation and the individual might not have the monetary or physical resources to make that happen, we can help fund the removal or cleanup of that property. So in 2016, our HUD award was for $205,608. And in the color, you guys can kind of see the color difference. We had some rollover funding from 2015 that was allocated towards 2016 projects, from 2015 projects that we put into the 2016 allocation. And then during the 2016 program year, we have our rehab home program that periodically people will pay off that loan. And so that $14,820 reflects what we gained at random times throughout the 2016 program year. So at year end, we ended up having $237,545.73 that we're able to use. Well, we didn't use it all. So the funding allocations that we had originally, program admin and planning, which is the top one, and then the 2 on the bottom in that kind of white, the public services, those both have a cap. Admin's capped at 20%, public services are capped at 15%, so those allocations can't be any higher than what they are. And then the Chelan Avenue project, again, takes the majority of it, and the code enforcement officer neighborhood grant programs are those consistent values throughout each year. And then again, the acquired program income was that $14,000. And then so what we expended, program admin was a little bit less. With the Chelan Avenue project, we were mainly just doing design analysis, so that was a lot of the consultant work, so that wasn't a lot of my time that I needed to work on. When we go into construction, that review process seems to take a little bit more time. So there's quite a bit left over from that we were able to roll into 2017. The Chelan Avenue, again, because of the design process, we just worked on that contract, leaving some funding there. The other one, so the Neighborhood Grants Program, I made a note at the bottom. We didn't have any applications in for that program that were CDBG eligible, but out of the $6,000 that the general fund provides, all of that was utilized. So we're trying to look at that and see what is most appropriate utilization of that fund. If some of the projects come in are more geared towards kind of general fund type projects rather than CDBG focused projects. So looking at that coming up. Code enforcement, referral, and debris. Honestly, I think we spent more than $275.18, but we had a little hiccup with waste management and a cleanup date. So there was a waste basket, I guess, sitting there for quite some time. So this is just what the value they ended up getting us. But I think we definitely helped quite a few more properties. So I don't know if that's good or bad. And then our program income that we have, we're required to utilize that in a lump sum prior to spending our award. So that was just allocated towards the Code Enforcement Officer Program and then the Chelan Avenue project. So what we have for rollover is, again, the admin that was not fully spent. The sidewalk construction Chelan Avenue, that was a little bit extra above what we had available and more than what we had with the contract with our consultants. The neighborhood grant, since we didn't have any qualifying programs, the code enforcement officer, that $10,320 is the value of one of the program incomes from the rehab loan. And so because we didn't utilize the full amount and there's a cap on it, we had to have that amount in rollover. And then again for the referral and debris removal. So in 2017, this is coming too late because we didn't have this allocation until just this last week. So we ended up actually getting more money this year than we did the last couple of years after kind of worrying about that. So our allocation this year is $211,185. And that dispersed out into the same projects that we utilized last year. And one thing to note with the sidewalk construction for Chelan Avenue, our estimate for this year was just over $85,000. And so because we have 173 in that, if the trend continues with funding for CDBG within for the city of Wenatchee as an entitlement community, as of right now, we're saving the general fund just over $56,000 of funding towards the Chelan project. So hopefully that trend continues and we're able to be good stewards of that funding to help be able to have that savings to us.
And the plan is to do the Chelan project this year, I think.
Yep, yeah,
The
so we're
second
doing
wing
it.
of the Chelan sidewalk project.
Yeah,
is
and so
scheduled
what
to
we're
go this
doing,
fall.
we requested
Yeah.
a pre-award, which means the city's fronting that fund and then getting reimbursed in the next couple of years of CDBG funding. And what this allows is 2017 funding is not a pre-award, it's just what we have is what we use. And because this value is what it is, then that upfront cost in the general fund will be $56,000 less, assuming the next 2 years of $85,000 come in. So, fingers crossed. So our total funding for 2017 is just over $300,000.
So no formal actions required of the council. We're required to hold the hearing and, it's a check-in on how we performed and where we're at in our programs and moving forward. Are there any comments or questions we can try to answer? Or more specifically, Brooklyn can try to answer?
No, I was just concerned about the sidewalk program because we had decided at Finance Committee to move forward, whether we were getting the CDB block grant. We were ready to, so we kind of like jumped in with both feet and said, well, I guess we got to do it. And so
Yeah.
the 2017 funding has come recently, so,
Yeah.
but we're sticking our neck out a little bit, but I'm assuming the 18 and 19 funding will come back and reimburse us. So
Okay.
excited to get the continuation of the sidewalk on Chelan on the one side of the road, I think all the way to Ferry Street. I
All the way
think.
to Ferry Street.
Yeah, so hopefully that's designed and about ready to go and
Yep, went out, the notice went out for bid. And
good.
so that will be over the next 3 weeks and we should be opening those soon.
And we have a lady, when we went to the open house, a lady who lives on the other side of the street, she's like, I'm not staying behind. I'm gonna do my own. She's gonna pay for her own sidewalk.
oh, good.
Yeah. So,
Aw.
yeah.
So let's hope other neighbors will do the same.
Yeah, no, it's-
Yeah.
And it really has done, even for that one little 2-block stretch, it's really done a nice job. The folks across the street have done a little bit of stuff, so it's amazing.
Really great.
It's amazing how much sidewalks can help a neighborhood.
And prior to this phase, myself, Anna, and one of our consultant representatives walked and knocked and talked to every resident along the next 2 phases, and we had an amazing amount of positive feedback just for that first phase, and then an amazing amount of excitement for those 2 continuing phases. So that was just really good reinforcement of the work that's going on, and the extension of, you know, all the public art and community engagement we've been doing.
I should have you guys follow me around, because I get yelled at all the time. Knock on doors. We're not yelling at Brooklyn and Anna.
Yeah. It
What's
took-
that?
It,
Oh, of
it
course
took
they
a
would. Who's
bit
not gonna
longer
love
than
you
it
two?
would have, because we talked so much. You probably wouldn't get anything done because we'd be talking behind you the whole time. But
You just need to tag along and get some pointers.
Yeah, exactly.
Brooklyn, I don't know if it's material, but at the end of your CAPER document, it still says the hearing was on the 22nd. So I don't know if you have to correct that for submittal.
I did.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since that was just the draft that was uploaded when we did the notification, I just kept that same document and then did the continuance with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'll turn it over to any members of the audience who would wish to comment on this public hearing. Seeing no members of the audience willing to participate, I will close the public hearing. And we will move on to our next item on our agenda, which there is not one. And I don't have anything for mayor
Do you
comment
wanna
at this point.
reference
Oh,
the-
yeah, let's, you did get the bid results from the, Matt, you want to, this is the Mission and Crawford improvement. You want to go to page 2, because that gets to the totals.
Oh, mine does.
So it looks like Bianchi is in at 747, the engineer's estimate was 836. And you're recommending that I'll sign the contract with Bianchi, is that correct?
Yeah, so we got approval to have you sign the contracts if it was in reason of the engineer's estimate, and we have moved forward with getting contract documents prepared
And
from
Bianchi did the Western Avenue
So,
improvements,
yeah.
and we worked well with them, and
Yeah, they did a good job. They are doing the sidewalk for the county that we're partnering on in front of Lincoln Park
okay.
right now. So then that'll morph right into this project really well. So they, as you can see, they gave us a good price. So we were happy to have a project that came in under budget.
Anytime it comes under engineer's estimate, we're doing good.
Yeah, so that's good. Especially bidding a project in the middle of the season, you kind of worry about that, but
Right.
so we were happy.
It's kind of nice they got all their equipment here and they keep working.
Yeah, so the MOB's done. They're really liking working with our staff, and they've been doing a good job for
So
us.
I'll be signing contracts next week, maybe?
Yeah, so they get 10 days to get them to us once we give them that notice to bid award, which we did. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, so that was just a follow-up from the last meeting when you gave us authority. Anything else? I don't have anything for the good of the order. We're not meeting next Thursday, so we'll meet again on the pick a day, 13th.
Just
12th.
quickly, thanks to the staff for the Red Apple Road Improvements Open House at Wenatchee High School.
Yeah, sound like that went really well.
Yeah, that's 28, is that 2018 construction?
Yeah, that's going to be a great little project. Yeah, so it looks like we meet again on the 13th, 4th of July celebration on Tuesday. So I think everything else seems to be going. Looks like we got a state budget. I have no idea what that's supposed to look like. They kept it pretty quiet as
think
to,
they do either.
yeah, so I guess we'll find out first part of next week what's in it and how we did with respect to Public Works Trust Fund and some of the other stuff we've been watching. So I think Public Works Trust Fund and then the left one, taking the state contribution out are the kind of the two major. You got the sales tax stuff in the last week or so, so sales tax continues to do well for us, so. Even looking at I'm on the board of the Town Toyota Center and watching the 1%, which is more regional, I think last month was down 13% from last year's, whatever, June, which is March or April, however that works, yeah. And the cities is up 20%. So we've actually reversed the,
Yeah.
a lot of that's Old Station, but we're reversing the trend where they were up 20 and 30% for a long time, and we were flat, 4 years ago, so. All right.
Good.
Anything else for the good of the order? If not, those that are attending the Saddle Rock, we'll see you there in a little bit. We're adjourned.